So one of my main hobbies all these years has been music. I've been playing guitar for 32 years now. If you look at my previous channel, Old Guy's Guitar Vlog, you'll see that I was into just analog stuff for a little while. But I've always really been more into digital solutions for music to record and to play. And I got a Fractal Audio FM3, which is absolutely phenomenal. I had a Fractal Axe FX2 for almost a decade. And played with it a lot, recorded a lot. It was probably my most prolific time as a musician, and again, just as a home hobby. But I got an FM3, I really love it. I'm really involved in the Fractal Audio forums. So I figured I'd make a short video on how to navigate the front panel as a brand newbie who never had any kind of experience or use with a digital modeler, and just give them a really easy way to navigate through all the presets. But I know how people get really excited when they're about to order something like this. They look online, they look at all the YouTube channels and kind of learning as much as they can, and then they get their hands on the unit, and all that stuff they learned on YouTube kind of goes out the window because of how excited you are and how potentially overwhelming these modelers can be. So tune in, I hope you learned something, and here we go. But this is a very basic kind of way to use your FM3. If you've never had any kind of digital modeling, and you like the sound of the FM3, you watched a bunch of YouTubes, now you have it at home and you're kind of intimidated by all the buttons. So we're gonna start from how to navigate the presets on the front panel. There's three ways you can get to your next preset. One is with the navigator button. You just press to the side, back and forth. You can do that. You can use the value knob here to move from preset to preset like that. Or the other way is if you hit page 3 times, 1, 2, 3, you'll see all your presets listed. And if you want to jump to one, you just press enter and it'll bring you to that. Okay, so I'm going to show you that again because I'm going to go back to the first preset. So 1, 2, 3, there's your presets. You go to whichever preset you want, enter, and it'll show you right back to the preset. So nav button, value knob, page to the side with your value knob, and then enter. Now you can see here that there's all these different scenes, and the way to get from one scene to the next is with the nav down or nav up. Now I would basically just play with that a big bunch just to get through the presets, kind of get comfortable with navigating the presets, getting comfortable with going from like your first preset to your 80th preset without having to press nav or value. That's what that page button function is really useful for. Now the next thing is you get to a preset you really like, you kind of want to see what's in the preset itself. The way to do that is on the B button, you'll see where it says layout on the top there. If you click that, it'll give you the layout of the preset. Now this is in a zoom mode for old eyes like me, and you can see you can't really see the whole thing, and in that case you can just press over. You can see this yellow box, and if you press the nav, there's the amp cab, and you can kind of go through it that way. So you use the nav buttons to get to each block. You can see like that's, I've moved it now to the amp block. If you want to see the whole preset and what's in there, you can hit the A knob, which is, you can see it says zoom, and that'll zoom out to the whole thing. Now one of the cool things is these are usually done within the scenes, but let's say you're looking at this and you're like, wow, I really want to try one of the other effects blocks. What you can do is you can kind of see that if I scroll over, you can see it says tremolo panner, or in this case delay. If I really want to use that one and see what it sounds like in the preset, you can see that it says on the B knob as bypass, but it's an orange. If you just press on that, you'll see that now the bypass is white, and actually that basically engages the effect. So if you want to try the delay alone with just the amp and the cab, you can go ahead and play and you'll sound what that's like. And then if you want to turn it off, you do that again. And again, you use the nav buttons to navigate the blocks. So the next one is tremolo panner. Let's say you want to use that. Well, you just press the bypass to B and it goes from orange to white, and now you've engaged that. At any time If you want, you can go back to the original preset kind of view that just tells you the name and the scenes by pressing home. So again, if you want to see the layout, you go to B and it shows you that. Then again, the zoom, if this is zoomed in, if you want to zoom out, you press that and zoom icon goes white. And then you can again navigate using the nav buttons up and down with the blocks. And one more time, if you want to go back to just the preset name where all the scenes are, you just hit home and you're right back there. And again, back to the nav buttons to go from one scene to the next. And what you can do too is you can check in each scene by going to the actual layout, what's on and what's off. So let's say we go down to the trem scene and we press layout. You can now see that the trem block's been engaged. And again, if you want to disengage it, you can go over there and you can see that the bypass is white. If you press B again, the bypass goes orange, so now it's actually bypassed. And that's a really good way to just test everything out with each scene and what block is on and what block is off. And again, you can zoom and kind of see it right off the bat. So again, you press home, it gives you back to the scene. So let's say you're in a scene, you like the scene name, but you have no idea what amp is in that scene. You kind of want to see what amp is in there. Again, you can press layout. And then what you do here, where you navigate to the amp, and you can do this with any block. It'll tell you what block, what actual amp, cab, or pedal is in the block. You go to amp, you go to edit, you press edit, and it'll bring up a list of all the amps that are actually within the unit. And you can see how it's highlighted band commander. Now if you want to go into that amp and actually start modifying it a little bit, and I wouldn't necessarily think about doing that just yet, but just if you want to start playing around and seeing what's actually in there, the next thing you want to do is page over like that. If you hit that page, now it's going to show you what the actual settings of the amp is. So you can see the drive block, the bright switch is on, where the bass, treble, and level are. And if you want to go to input, trim, and go down, you just navigate down, okay? And you can keep doing that. You know, this is the next kind of set of inputs you can use for the amp. And I just did the page over again, and now you can have the input boost, boost type, boost level, saturation switch, and saturation drive. Not that I wouldn't necessarily start going nuts with all this stuff. You just kind of look and see what's in there, and then page back, you go all the way back there and you're back to what amp is in there. And if you ever get confused and you start doing all this and you're like, oh my god, I don't know what's going on, the easiest way to go back to the preset / scene screen is just hit home and it'll take you right back there. So again, these are really simple ways to kind of navigate the unit itself on the front, and you can kind of go through this slowly. And again, if you want to see what effect is in there and what effect it's called, you can nav over, and you see I'm just doing this to show you that this yellow block. And let's go over to the delay, and let's turn it on just so you can see its delay. And then if you go to edit, it'll tell you which delay it is. Again, that's in that particular preset, you see the mono tape delay. And then if you want to see the settings on that particular effect, you just go to page over and it'll show you, like ahead one time, the tempo, feedback, mix level. If you want to see what's below that, you use the nav button just like that. And you can do that again, and there's all kinds of these different more advanced options. But again, this is more just so you can navigate, oh wow, okay, I want to see which delay is in there. And then again, if you ever get confused, you just push home and it takes you right back to the beginning, that first preset / scenes. So this is a really simple way to start getting into the device itself, how to navigate everything on the front panel. Hopefully with time I'm going to expand on this and show you more stuff. The other thing too is I got this really nifty stand for the FM3, and I'll put a link to that. It's somebody from the Fractal Audio forums. Really nice guy, really good customer service. It came all assembled with everything looking great, relatively inexpensive too. So I hope you enjoyed this very, very simple, very basic kind of navigation newbies navigation of the FM3 the first day you get it. This way it doesn't seem so overwhelming. And hopefully I'll continue to make other videos as I get more into the device itself. If you did enjoy this, thumbs up and subscribe, and let me know how I'm doing. Any questions, please feel free to put it in the comment section below.